A very good evening and welcome to the news at 6 here on Rajya TV. In the next 30 minutes, I'll be getting in the day's top developing stories, starting with the headlines. Foreign Secretaries of India and Pakistan hold talks in New Delhi, focus on a range of issues, including Pathankot terror attack probe, the Kashmir issue and the 26/11 terror probe as well. Government backs imposition of President's rule in Uttarakhand. Rajya Sabha witnesses disruptions by the Congress and other opposition parties on the issue. Protests in the upper house also over the rustication of JNU students. Left parties demand a discussion, call the university's action vindictive. And countdown for the launch of the 7th and final navigation satellite IRNSS-1G. The navigation satellite to be launched on Thursday on board PSLV C-33. The top story, the issue of imposition of President's rule in Uttarakhand remain at the centre stage on day 2 of the session in Rajya Sabha. With their demand for immediate discussion on the matter rejected by the government, Congress members shouted slogans and trooped into the well, leading to repeated adjournments.
Congress MPs found support from other opposition parties as they once again raised the issue of imposition of President's rule in Uttarakhand in the upper house. Congress leaders Anand Sharma and Pramod Tiwari and Samajwadi Party MP Naresh Agrawal gave notices under Rule 267 seeking suspension of business to take up discussion on the matter. BSP Chief Mayawati also lent support to this demand.
Universities are sanctuaries. We are worried how one after the other universities atmosphere is being vitiated. It's the HRD ministry which is directly involved.
हमारे देश में कई राज्यों में इस धारा का इस्तेमाल किया गया है और 356 का, लेकिन जिस मकसद से इसकी व्यवस्था की गई है तो उस मकसद से इसका कम इस्तेमाल किया गया, इसका राजनीतिकरण ज्यादा कर दिया गया है.
The government, however, rejected the demand, saying no discussion other than on proclamation of President's rule in Uttarakhand can take place. The finance minister also justified the imposition of central rule in the state.
It's never happened in 68 years of independence that presiding officers convert majorities into minorities and vice versa. If there is a discussion, we will certainly participate in, but the discussion will take place. The discussion will take place when the proclamation is before the House. The discussion will be on the proclamation. There is no procedure for having a pre-proclamation discussion under Article 356.
Slogan shouting by the Congress members led to repeated adjournments with no work being done in the question hour as well.
House is adjourned till 2 p.m.
In the post-lunch session, opposition members objected to the comments made by the finance minister on Speaker of the Uttarakhand Assembly.
आज मुझे बहुत अफसोस होता कि लीडर ऑफ हाउस खुद एक दूसरी विधानसभा उत्तराखंड के स्पीकर के बारे में कहते हैं कि उन्होंने माइनॉरिटी गवर्नमेंट को मेजॉरिटी गवर्नमेंट करार दिया. तो ये दो मापदंड नहीं चलेंगे.
To this, the finance minister clarified that his remarks were about proceedings inside the assembly which led to a constitutional crisis in the state and not about the speaker's ruling.
We are not questioning the speaker's ruling. The courts can't question it. The simple question is, if the proceedings inside a house give a ground that there is a breakdown of a constitutional machinery. The case of the government is that the appropriation bill had been defeated in the assembly.
No, please.
You're saying no doesn't make a difference because 35 out of the 67 MLAs gave it in writing.
Not satisfied with the government's response, Congress members once again trooped into the well and shouted slogans leading to adjournment of proceedings for the day.
The House stands adjourned till 11 a.m. on Wednesday, 27th April.
Vishal Daya's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And staying with the upper house, a day after the Jawaharlal Nehru University fined and rusticated its students Kanhaiya Kumar and 3 others, the issue was raised in the upper house by left parties. The CPIM and CPI termed the university's action against students as vindictive.
The upper house faced repeated disruptions over the rustication of JNU Students' Union President Kanhaiya Kumar and 3 others from the university. The left parties demanded that a discussion be held, calling the rustication vindictive action. CPIM leader Tapan Kumar Sen gave notice under Rule 67 seeking suspension of business.
Insofar as the attack that has been unleashed on the students of Jawaharlal Nehru University, rusticating them, debarring many of them for 5 years, and thereby taking a vindictive and vengeance against their entire educational career in a very unjust manner. And this is a part of this government's project, authoritarian project of trampling the constitutional rights of the citizen.
Omar Khalid has been rusticated for a semester, Anirban Bhattacharjee till July 15th, and Kashmiri student Mojib Gatto for 2 semesters. Kanhaiya Kumar has been fined 10,000 rupees by the JNU administration.
I draw the attention of the government. Jawaharlal Nehru University is one of the prestigious universities in the world. And what is happening in Jawaharlal Nehru University is very serious. This parliament, this house cannot be a mute spectator when such things are happening in JNU under our very nose.
The left parties accused the government of violating the rights of citizens and also said that the centre is tampering with the constitution. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
On to other news, and Foreign Secretary S. Jaishankar held a meeting with his Pakistani counterpart, Foreign Secretary Aizaz Ahmad Chaudhry, on the sidelines of the Heart of India conference in New Delhi, Heart of Asia conference, in New Delhi today. And India asked Pakistan to crack down on terror groups. Here's a report.
At the India-Pakistan Foreign Secretary talks, India seeking early and visible progress in the Pakistani probe into the Pathankot attack. On the other hand, the Pakistani side maintained that the Kashmir issue still remains the core issue. India also sought the trial of the suspects charged with involvement in the Mumbai attacks, besides asking Pakistan to crack down on terrorist groups operating from its soil.
India's Foreign Secretary emphasized the need for early and visible progress on the Pathankot terrorist attack investigation. He also brought up the listing of Jaish-e-Mohammed leader Masood Azhar in the UN 1267 Sanctions Committee.
Pakistan also raised issue of the arrest of Indian Kulbhushan Yadav, who's being accused of spying and alleged subversive actions by RAW in Balochistan and Karachi.
पाकिस्तान वालों ने हमको क्या दिया? पठानकोट पे हमला, पठानकोट के एयरबेस पे हमला, और उसके बाद हम सोचते थे कि हमारी जो गवर्नमेंट है वो पाकिस्तान के प्रति उनका जो रवैया है बदलेगा, सख्त रवैया होगा, लेकिन रवैया तो बदला नहीं बल्कि और रवैया नरम हो गया हमारी गवर्नमेंट का, पाकिस्तान को वहाँ फिर आने दे दिया हिंदुस्तान में.
What is your policy vis-a-vis not only Pakistan but all our neighbors? With every one of them, there's a certain flip-flop. We have said that we'll talk to Pakistan on this issue of cross-border terrorism only. Only after that, the other issues will be taken up. Now, what is this backtracking?
And India and Pakistan continue to engage themselves in a dialogue process, this composite dialogue process. I hope the very meeting itself is positive.
The talks between Foreign Secretary S. Jaishankar and his Pakistani counterpart Aizaz Ahmad Chaudhry come ahead of the Heart of Asia conference. It is the first time the two foreign secretaries are meeting after the comprehensive bilateral dialogue was first announced in Islamabad last December. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, the countdown for the launch of the 7th and final navigation satellite IRNSS-1G began on Tuesday at the Satish Dhawan Space Centre in Sriharikota. The Mission Readiness Review Committee and the Launch Authorization Board gave its approval on Monday. The navigation satellite will be launched on Thursday on board India's versatile launch vehicle PSLV C-33. The ISRO will complete the number of fleets in space for India to establish its own reliable navigation satellite system. Till date, ISRO has launched 6 regional navigational satellites. And now let's get you all the election-related news in our segment Verdict 2016. Congress President Sonia Gandhi addressed an election rally in West Bengal's Canning district today, and hitting out at Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, Sonia Gandhi called the leaders a threat to the Indian democracy.
नरेगा में रोजगार के लिए हर साल 3 करोड़ लोग पश्चिम बंगाल में अप्लाई करते हैं, तो इसका मतलब क्या है? इसका मतलब है कि बंगाल के लोगों के पास रोजगार नहीं है। प्रधानमंत्री मोदी और ममता जी रोजगार के जो बड़े बड़े वादे करते हैं, यही उनके रोजगार के दावे की असली तस्वीर।
Meanwhile, former Chief Minister Buddhadeb Bhattacharjee and Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi will be sharing the stage at an election rally in Kolkata tomorrow. The rally is taking place in Kolkata's Park Circus 3 days before the 5th phase of elections on the 30th of April. Tomorrow will be the first time that 2 senior leaders of the erstwhile rivals will appear together on a joint campaign. 53 constituencies are to go to elections in Hooghly, South 24 Parganas and Kolkata South districts that are considered to be the Trinamool party's strongholds. With that, a quick break here. We'll be back with more news in a bit. Stay with us.
Hello and welcome to The Quest. Another very special guest on The Quest, Union Minister in Government of India, Mr. Kalraj Mishra.
प्रधानमंत्री जी की मंशा है कि हमारा युवा रोजगार देने वाला हो, रोजगार के लिए हाथ फैलाने वाला ना हो। खादी की गुणवत्ता के लिए हमने डिजाइन में परिवर्तन किया है, हमने पहनावे की दृष्टि से भी परिवर्तन किया है। भारत के टैलेंट को दुनिया के लोग अपनी तरफ खींचने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं।
Watch The Quest with Kalraj Mishra only on Rajya Sabha television.
Ghatam, one of the oldest and most unique percussion instruments of southern India. You can play it not only with your fingers, but palms, wrists and heels as well. You'll be surprised, but the air inside the ghatam reverberates, creating the musical notes. 5 elements of nature: earth, water, air, fire and space make up the composition of this beautiful musical piece, which has found an apt place in most of the ancient books.
Welcome back. Let's get you news from the US now. And voters in 5 northeastern US states on Tuesday will cast their ballots in a series of primaries that could cement the leads of presidential frontrunners Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. And according to the latest polls, Democrat Clinton and Republican Trump hold sizable leads in all 5 contests. Here's more on that.
Hillary Rodham Clinton.
Another Super Tuesday with Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump all set to dominate the show. American in 5 northeastern states of Connecticut, Delaware, Maryland, Pennsylvania and Rhode Island will be voting on one of the last multi-state primary days of the 2016 presidential campaign. Billionaire Trump, who has won 845 delegates so far, is still several hundred delegates short of the required 1,237 delegates. Addressing supporters in Rhode Island, Trump lashed out at his 2 opponents, Cruz and Kasich, for forging a strategic alliance against him.
In politics, because it's a rigged system, because it's a corrupt enterprise, in politics, you're allowed to collude. So they colluded, and actually I was happy, because it shows how weak they are. It shows how pathetic they are.
Cruz and Kasich appeared to have already conceded defeat in the 5 states, but said they hope to slow down Trump's momentum. While Cruz will focus on Indiana, Kasich would devote his entire resources in New Mexico and Oregon.
It is big news today that John Kasich has decided to pull out of Indiana to give us a head-to-head contest with Donald Trump. That is good for the men and women of Indiana. It's good for the country to have a clear and direct choice.
This is a matter of resources, and we run a national campaign, and we want to apply our resources where we think they can be used most effectively, and it's all designed to stop Hillary Clinton from becoming president. Donald Trump needs to understand is that he cannot beat Hillary Clinton. In the latest poll out of New Hampshire, he loses 50 to 31.
On the Democratic side, Clinton has won 1,428 delegates so far and is closely followed by Senator Bernie Sanders with 1,153 delegates. But Clinton has a distinct edge over Sanders in terms of superdelegates, who are party officials. An overwhelming majority have pledged their support to her.
If you will go out and vote for me tomorrow, I will stand up and fight for you through this campaign all the way into the White House. And every single day, I will get up trying to figure out how I can improve the lives and protect the American people.
But Sanders is not giving in. He's pushing hard for a win in Rhode Island, where Clinton's lead is slimmer. He's also hoping for an upset in Pennsylvania with its many working-class voters.
All over this country, what we have found is that when voter turnout is high, we do very well. And I believe that if there is a high voter turnout tomorrow, we're going to win here in Pennsylvania.
A win for Clinton might have essentially wrapped up the race for the Democratic nomination ahead of the party's convention in July. The Republican race is a lot more fluid. If Trump performs as expected on Tuesday, the Stop Trump movement will make its final stand. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
In other news, the Pakistan Foreign Ministry today reiterated that it is making serious efforts to facilitate the peace process in Afghanistan. Pakistan also said it is not solely responsible for bringing the Afghan Taliban to the negotiation table for a dialogue. Early on Monday, Afghan President Ashraf Ghani had warned Pakistan that he would take the case to the UN Security Council if Pakistan does not take immediate military action against the Taliban. Ghani also said that its intelligence agencies had confirmed that many Taliban leaders live in complete impunity in Pakistan, in Quetta and Peshawar. Pakistan, however, denies providing shelter to the Taliban.
او د هغو کسانو په خلاف نظامی عملیات وکړي چې زموږ د امنیتي ادارو او زموږ د بین المللي همکارانو د استخباراتي معلومات په اساس او په خپل د پاکستاني مقاماتو په
Ukraine is marking 30 years of the worst nuclear disaster the world has ever seen, Chernobyl. Sirens rang loud at the exact moment the first explosion took place in the reactor on the 26th of April 1986. Ukraine's President Petro Poroshenko attended a ceremony in Kiev as he laid a wreath at the memorial for the victims of the disaster.
30 years have passed, but Ukraine's Pripyat city remains an isolated zone. Pripyat was the 9th nuclear city in the Soviet Union, serving the nearby Chernobyl nuclear power plant. In one of the worst nuclear disasters the world has witnessed, an explosion at the Chernobyl plant in 1986 released over 8 tons of radioactive material, contaminating an area of over 60,000 square kilometers. Nearly 3.2 million people were exposed to dangerous levels of radiation. The reactor that exploded 30 years ago was encased in a thick concrete tomb, but now authorities have raised alarm after cracks started appearing on it.
В сторону я уберу датчик дозиметра буквально на полметра, ну смотрите, 900 частиц. Еще чуть правее.
Вторая фаза – это сама надвижка арки. И третья фаза – это извлечение всего радиационного топлива изнутри арки, из 4-го блока, и уже потом превращение всей этой территории в максимально безопасную.
Loud sirens were sounded in the city to mark the moment of the first explosion, as relatives of victims attended candlelight vigils at several churches. Ukraine's President Petro Poroshenko observed a minute's silence before he laid a wreath at a memorial to the victims. Meanwhile, the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development pledged over 80 million euros to fund efforts for dealing with the consequences of the disaster.
Это трагедия до конца жизни у меня будет. Я все равно ее не могу забыть. Да никто не забудет, который прошел с первого дня аварии. Я, например, с первого дня аварии, так с 26-го.
Наші міжнародні партнери проявили солідарність і підтримку вирішення надважливого питання. Окремо хочу подякувати EBRD за їхню позицію, їхню підтримку, J7.
The danger is still not completely over. In Belarus, the scientists have found radioactive isotopes in the milk from a dairy farm. The isotope levels are 10 times higher than the country's food safety limits. The farm was just 45 kilometers north of the Chernobyl nuclear plant. Scientists have now warned that a possible new disaster could be lurking in the forests around the closed power plant. Bureau Report, Rajya Bhattacharjee.
And now let's get you some more international news updates in Global Buzz. A Canadian mining executive, John Ridsdale, was found murdered by the Islamic militant group Abu Sayyaf in the Philippines on Monday. Ridsdale was captured by Islamist militants along with 3 other people in September 2015 while on vacation on a Philippine island. The militant group had threatened to behead one of the 4 captives on Monday if the 300 million pesos ransom for each of them was not handed over. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau condemned the execution of the hostage, calling it an act of cold-blooded murder. Two crucial files relating to Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose will be declassified by Japan this year end, but Japan has given no assurance regarding 3 more such files in its custody. Minister of State for Home Kiren Rijiju told the Lok Sabha that these 5 files, which are with Japan, could be crucial in resolving the mystery over Netaji's fate. UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon has condemned the assassination of a Burundi General Athanase Karazuwa along with his wife. The couple was killed in a rocket and grenade attack as they were dropping off their daughter to school. The daughter survived the attack. The United States sent 2 F-22 Raptors to Romania. The warplanes reached Romania 2 weeks after Russian fighter jets buzzed an American warship in the Baltic Sea. The F-22s are known for speed and stealth, and they travel at twice the speed of sound and are hard to spot on the radar. Papua New Guinea's Supreme Court has ruled that Australia's detention of asylum seekers on the Manus Island is illegal. The Supreme Court has asked Australia and Papua New Guinea to take steps to shut down the island detention centre, which currently houses 850 men. And now let's get you all the latest from the world of sports in Sportsbeat. Badminton ace Nandu Natikar has been inducted into the Legends Club at the Cricket Club of India. The Legends Club was founded by CCI President late Raj Singh Dungarpur. Along with Natikar, the 1983 World Cup winning captain Kapil Dev is also listed. India will host the 2018 Commonwealth Judo Championship. This will be the first time that India hosts the event. The championships will be held in Jaipur. However, the dates are yet to be finalized. The Commonwealth Judo Championship is the official event of the Commonwealth Judo Associations and is organized every 2 years. Indian rower Dattu Bhokanal qualified for the Rio Olympics after winning a silver in the finals of the men's single sculls at the 2016 FISA Asian and Oceania Olympic qualification regatta at Chungju in South Korea. He clocked 7 minutes 07.49 seconds in the 2-kilometer course to finish second and qualify for the Olympics. World number 5, Rafael Nadal has filed a lawsuit against former French government minister Roselyne Bachelot, who accused him of doping. He was accused last month by the Minister of Health and Sports due to his absence from the sport for 7 months in 2012. Bachelot said that the absence could have been due to a positive doping test. Defending champions Juventus scored a record equaling 5th consecutive Serie A title on Monday after Roma struck late to beat second-place Napoli 1-0. Juventus, who have led the table since beating Napoli 1-0 in February, were left with an unassailable 12-point lead with 3 games each left to play as they clinched a record 32nd league title. And that's all we have for you on the news at 6. Coming up next is Verdict 2016.